Hello, gorgeous. I wanted to make a video today about some makeup from a store called Miss A. If you're not familiar with the store, neither was I. I've walked by it a million times, but never actually went in there. I'm usually always on the go. But this store has a big old cardboard Pink Panther. So if you walk by it in the mall, this is the store I'm talking about. Now I've walked by this and never really walked in there, but yesterday they had so many people in there. I just had to go in there and find out what was going on in there. Let me tell you a little bit about the store in case you haven't been in there and you're curious and want to go in yourself. I noticed on the right side of the store, they had your barrettes, your headbands, your bows, your earrings, your necklaces, stuff like that on the right side of the right side of the store. The further back you go, you'll see like they have incense. If you like incense, they have a very, very small section for some little kitchen gadgets that you may need, like peelers or avocado slicers, stuff like that. They have a few very little things for your bathroom, like liners or suction cups or whatever. You might need a very small section. But they also have a very small section for bras and panties. That is all on the right side. Down the middle and on the left is all kinds of makeup and stuff for your nails. If you are brave enough to do your own nails, which I am not, I go and get mine done at the salon. I tried it once and it was just, no, they did not come out. So I'll just let the professionals do it. But if you are brave enough, or you can go do it, or maybe you just want to get the press-ons. They had press-ons, or you want stickers or little rhinestones. They had that there. I did notice along the wall, and this is why I say I did my best to get everything I think I'm going to need to do a full face. They had a lot of the same, like they had different kinds of foundation. They did different things, but it was all spread out throughout the whole wall. So you might have this one or this one or this one, but they all were doing different things. And some of the things I could not read clearly as to what they were doing. And down the middle, you'll find like your brushes and sponges, which because there was so many people in there, I walked out without any brushes or sponges or any kind of things like that. So I will have to be using my own stuff for that today. But since I don't know the colors that I would use there, I did my best. So we're going to see if it's going to be too dark or too light. And I did ask a few ladies in there if they had tried the makeup before, but they told me they had not, that they usually just get the, earrings in there or things for their hair in there. They've tried the cleansers in there. The cleansers will also be on the left hand, on the other side by the register, in case you're curious. I was really scoping out this place. They have false lashes there if you do that. They have the curlers. They have all that kind of stuff, eye curlers, things to curl your hair as well. If you do all that, that's going to be on the left side. So I liked how organized everything kind of was, except for the makeup. It was like a whole wall. They had a whole wall of nail polish, a whole section of just nail polish colors and stuff. But the thing that kind of threw me, I guess because there were so many people, was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know any of these, I was told there's a Cowgirl brand, which is, it says Cowgirl, but that is part of the Miss A Studios brand. Everything in there is from them. You will not find CoverGirl or Maybelline or anything like that in there. That is all Miss A products. And I wanted to ask women that were a little bit older, like myself, that would be purchasing the makeup, which ones they were getting. But I couldn't find any. I saw mainly teenagers, and it looked like maybe they were in their early 20s. So I did my best to get the makeup that I got. Hopefully it'll work for me, which means it might work for you. Let's see how it holds up. And I will also have to see how it's going to do with the creases. Because I know you can't see them, but I do have some fine lines under my eyes. And like when I smile, you can really kind of tell it. You might not be able to see it without the makeup, but when I have my makeup on, yeah, I can see the lines right here, my little crow's lines, and on my nose and under my eyes. So I can really see them. So I don't know how this is going to do, so let's see how that goes as far as covering any of this up. And is any of this really sweat proof? I did my best to see what was sweat proof, waterproof, and stuff like that. But like I said, some of the boxes, because it's sitting in a box, you know, all the things are sitting in a box. But some of them actually didn't have very much explanation. So some of them I did not get because what was this for? I don't know. So I did my best to get what I thought was waterproof or sweat proof or whatever from the ones that I could read and see. I did have a lovely lady there, which I forgot her name, that was there, that she told me about some new products that they had just gotten this week. So, and I will show you which ones they were. So let's go ahead and let's just dive right in. Okay, I have already put my moisturizer on, and before I actually start applying any of these products, I just wanted to share with you a little tip that I have been using for ages. And you're gonna have to forgive me for this because I dropped the bottle, so now it looks all cloudy. But if you have purchased this, you know it is crystal clear. Of course, if you drop it like I did or shake it about, it turns a little cloudy, but after a little bit, it'll be crystal clear again. So anyway, I get this. And if you have an empty spray bottle, which I have one right here from Ulta, if you will pour this in there, just pour it in there. And if you will spritz your beauty blender, which this is the original beauty blender, it is $20. I got mine at Ulta. If you will spritz this or your brushes, and all the brushes that I'm using today are from Pure Minerals or MAC. And I actually cannot tell you the numbers on MAC, because on this particular one, you can barely see MAC there. It's so worn out. And these are also MAC. This was from a Christmas thing, but you can't even see the thing on there. So I can't tell you the numbers. On one of them, I can barely see a number, and it looks like possibly 224S, I think it is. I'm not too sure, but I can tell you they're MAC. So if you will spritz your beauty blender and your brushes, and I even have, which I got a brand new one of these, which these you can get like, I don't know, like 10, 12 of these on Amazon. And I will show you another little thing, a little trick that I do with these. If you will spritz all of these, I have noticed, and this is just me, other people do this to get their makeup to stay on longer. I do it so that the makeup, the color will be a little bit bolder, because some of the colors are a little lighter, but I've noticed that when I spritz it, my brushes with this, it tends to be a little bolder. And whenever I'm in a rush and I don't do it, which that hardly happens when I don't spritz it, I get more compliments when I spritz my brushes and apply like my eyeshadow with it than when I don't. So I definitely know, I definitely know that this does work. This trick does work. You're probably wondering why I put it on my beauty blender, because some people, they will spritz water on here, or they will just get it damp and then, you know, just squish it out a little bit. I figured that if I'm going to get it wet, I might as well use this or my primer that I'm going to spritz, you know, you have the little, like this one, they have a spritz primer. So whatever primer I'm using, it's sprayable. I will just, is this sprayable? Yes, it is. I will just spritz it on there. So, and that's what I use. I mean, instead of getting it wet with just water, I'll just go ahead and I'll put this, you know, I'll spritz it with that. So, okay, so let me show you that I am spritzing. It will be spritzing. So I usually pump no more than 3 pumps on my beauty blender, because then my makeup gets a little funky. And on my brushes, I will just spritz it, just 2 spritz. That's it. That's all I do. Okay, so now that we have done that little trick, we will continue. So first off, I am going to put this primer, which because of the way it looks, and something else I noticed in the store is they have some products that look like something else. Like this one looks like it could be Smashbox, or, you know, a dupe for Smashbox, or possibly NYX, or Maybelline, where they have this this clear one. So let's see how it goes. First, I don't smell anything. I just wanted to. Okay, well, it came out pretty clear, the way I would expect it to. It is a little drenchy. It feels just like the Smashbox. It just glides on. Now, some people, a primer is a primer, and that's what they say. So if you do not have an eye primer, just use this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a primer, this primer, on one eyelid. And I did get, they had an Amuse eyeshadow primer in the Miss A store. So, and it'll come in a little box like this. So I am going to give that a shot. And I'm going to use my beauty blender because I do not have my little, because I have one from MAC that's like this, but I don't see the brush there. So I'm going to use my little beauty blender and blend it on top of my other eyelid. Okay, so I can see that this one, of course, has a little color, but it is called Blank Canvas. So that's the color of this one. I can tell you that one right off because it's right there. And they did have this in different colors, just so you know. And so I do not forget, I'm going to put each primer on one side, so hopefully I'll remember. So once I have my primer on there, and before I put this on, I spritz a little bit of the primer. And this one is their Flawless Primer Spray. Now I see it says spray. Wow, it sounds kind of thick. I'm a little scared to try this. It says that this is refreshing, weightless. It was kind of heavy. Micro mist, and it's a gripping primer, hydrates, preps the skin for a flawless makeup. So let's see how it goes. Well, it does have a spray kind of like plastic. I'm gonna say like plastic. Now, I bought a fan there, and I bought it for 2 reasons. I already have a fan, but because I'm purchasing it from there, I buy it, one, because once I spritz my face, I will just fan myself so that it dries. And 2, because if I'm doing my makeup and I have a hot flash, I can just fan myself, which usually where I go to put on my makeup in my room, I have a fan right there, but it makes too much noise for this video, so I'm over here without it. And this side is drying much faster. I see there's still a few little spots. But the smell is definitely going away, so it's not something that we're gonna get stuck on. When I was in the store, I asked women that were about my age if they had used this makeup before, and they hadn't. They just went in there for the accessories. And so I didn't want to ask any that were younger than, or looked younger than I did, because their skin texture is different from those in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. I am 50. I will be 51 next month. So I thought it would be only fair to ask someone within my own range, my age range. And no, I have no problem with telling you I am 50 and I will be 51. So I thought that it is better because those that are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s and so on, they are already, their texture, their skin is getting a little different. Some are getting wrinkles at different times. Some get it in their 30s, some 40s, and I am starting to get my own wrinkles. I noticed that this year. I was like, oh my gosh, I am starting to get little wrinkles here and there. So, well, it's going to happen to everyone eventually. Okay, so it is pretty dry. Now, usually I just apply this onto my beauty blender. This looks a little, I don't know if you can see that. Looks like this. So I am just going to apply it onto my face like this, because there is like, it's like a gob onto my face. Let me see if I just, it's got an eyedropper. Okay, I am squeezing the eyedropper and like nothing is coming out of this. Okay, let me see if I can squeeze some. Okay, there we go. Something came out. Okay. Well, okay, it's not really liking the dropper. Okay, so I'm just gonna go like this. And the little excess that's on there I'm gonna use for my, just grab it off my beauty blender. And I'm going to start putting on the makeup. And like I mentioned before, I will mention at the end the name of all the makeup that I'm using so you know the color. I'm trying not to, I don't know about if any of you all have this issue. Even though I put this on or I wear a headband, I still tend to get makeup in my hair, all the way from here going all the way around. And in case, just to change the subject really quick, I know you all probably hear my my wind chimes going. It is because Hurricane Beryl is arriving tomorrow. And right now what we are hearing is the wind. The rain should already have been here. They said at 2 o'clock, but it's not here yet. Anyway, I don't know if anybody else gets, you know, gets makeup in their hair, but afterwards I just have to like rub my hair to get all of that out. I don't know how you all learned makeup, if you had someone professionally teach you or not. My aunt and my cousin, I'm just rubbing it on here. They're the ones who taught me how to do my makeup. So thank you, Aunt Diana and my cousin Karen, but not just them. I did a lot of reading about makeup. So that's how I did my makeup. And one thing they told me was to bring it down to right here where you're gonna get to your collarbone, so that it's got a nice even look. So in case you're wondering what on earth is she doing, and why is she doing it, that's why. Because they were the professionals, so I did what they told me to do because they were the professionals and they know best. Now I'm gonna put a little bit of my whatever's left on my beauty blender on my top eyelid. And that was, okay, I got a little mess there. Just get that up. This one is the Satin Drops. So just so you know, this was the foundation Satin Drop. And this was, she told me, was brand new. It just dropped this week. Okay, next up, I'm going to put my concealer, which is Locked Creamy Concealer. And the lady I spoke to that was behind the counter was helping me. She mentioned that everything, all the makeup in the store runs anywhere from $1 to $10. And one thing, I was going to try some others that looked nicer, in my opinion. But she said, I like to buy makeup here because I don't want to have to break the bank. And usually in some of the other stores, I'm having to break the bank and I don't want to break the bank. So with her in mind, I got everything, all the makeup that I have today. The most expensive thing was $2. So just $2 for the makeup, and that's it. Everything else was $1. Now before I do this, I have my concealer on so it can kind of get some warmth from my skin before I blend it in. So I found a contour stick there, but I didn't have a whole lot of colors to choose from. So I don't know just how dark this is gonna be. And this is called Paw Paw Contour Stick. So they did have another one, and it was a bit rounder. It was about that big around. It was pretty fat. It was way too dark, and the other one was way too light. And the one that I'm gonna say was in the middle was too orangey for me, definitely too orangey. So we're gonna do this, and you're gonna see how a mess that I make. Now, if you're not sure where to put your contour, you can see people do it all different ways. This is just how I do it. You might not like it, but this is what works for me. And you can try the 2-finger, where you can put your 2 fingers and then do it from there. You can do the V, whatever makes you feel more comfortable and what works best for you. But you can do the 2 fingers here so you know where this goes, and 2 fingers here, whatever is good for you. But this is just what I do, and it might not work for you, okay? But we're just going to see how this is gonna look at the end, whether this is really worth buying. Okay, so first of all, the little thing right here in your ear, I tried to put it right above there, and you also see the apples of my cheek. So I will just come right there, and I make a V coming right up, just like this. This is a little thinner and lighter than I would like it. Then right under here, right underneath the apple where you see this line right here, I will do it and drop it right underneath here. Drop it down. Then I will make right above my eyes, right here on the corner, the best that I can, I will make a little heart right there. And I'm gonna come back to my concealer in just a minute. Then underneath, right here, where there is this little indent right here in the point of your jaw, right, pretty much. I will come from here, go underneath, all the way to the other side. Then I'm going to drop it straight down on both sides. Make sure it's dropped both down. Now, if you see, you can see the little, it makes like a little V right here. See this little V, and I will make a line right here. It's trying to make it a little bit thicker. Now, I've had thyroid cancer, and I had to have a total thyroidectomy. So I have a scar, but then afterwards I had to have vocal cord surgery. So I've had two vocal cord surgeries, and the second one, I had another one. So this one is, I have two scars. So what I'm going to do next is just to kind of a little bit cover that up a bit. So that's why I do those lines, is to kind of make a shadow there. Not that they're very dark, because I did exactly what the doctor told me to do. So they're not that dark, thank God. But next I'm going to go back with my concealer, and I'm going to put just 3 little dots right here. And now that I've made my lines, I'm going to put a line here. Okay, I don't like that, I have to go back. And a line right here. Then I'm going to put on my crown. Ooh, yeah, it kind of just dries up a little bit. So I put on my crown. This is there, and it has been there for a little bit. And I can see that it's kind of, I don't know, maybe I just didn't put enough, but it looks like this one is a little lighter than this one. So I'll just wait just that second. By the time I get there, it'll be fine. Now I've already spritzed my beauty blender. So while this one is kind of warming up, I'm going to just go ahead and start. So I'm just going to go and just start up my blending everything in there. Oh, and I forgot to do something. I will also get my contour, and I will put it just right underneath my eyeshadow, my under lashes right here, these bottom lashes. So I'll just put just a little line right underneath there, and I will blend this in just like that. But I'm not touching the contour that I put right underneath my eyes. And I'm gonna blend in my crown there, put on that. And I'm going to, oh, you know what? I forgot one other thing. Okay, I will put this right here. I kind of go around right here. I'm going to go again because this is so light and it is very thin. And another thing that I do, which I can do in a minute, I'm going to blend this in just like this. And this is in case you want a little bit thinner nose, which is fine. That's what that's for. Which I'm sure most of y'all know, because y'all are smart little cookies. And you all are just gorgeous, so you all know how all this stuff works. You know what you gotta do. I'm gonna let this sit there for just a little bit longer before I blend it, and I'm going to start right here. Blending it up, tapping it and pulling it up. And you're just bouncing it the best you can. I'm sure you could just go like rubbing it. I'm sure it'll do the same thing, but I just kind of just bounce it around as quickly as I can, almost like smudging it. I just don't know if I were to go like this, is it gonna really do a good thing if I just rubbed it, than if I just did the same thing, just bouncing it as quickly as I can, going up and down, you know, just moving it about the best that I can, so that you don't end up with maybe you get stuck with just the line and not a true nice blend thing. And here comes a hot flash. And one thing that my husband, he can always tell, my chest is getting red. You can see my face getting red, which thank goodness I have makeup on. Okay, so next I have this, it's a soft touch blurring powder foundation. Now, I asked if they just had regular powder, and the only thing that she gave me was these two. It's a setting powder and this blurring press powder. That was all that she had. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, I think I'm going to start off with this, I don't know. Well, we'll try this blurring powder and let's see how it goes. We're just experimenting anyway.